Hello. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? Hello from me and Bongo. Wait, Bongo. Hello. I disappeared. Look, I am gone. I teleported to another room. I'm only here to sustain Bongo with one hand. That's all she needs to be sustained with one hand. Hello, Bongo. Hello, people. Hello there. I'm on a ship. I'm a space dog. I am cruising across the galaxy. That's right. I'm back. What do you think about the space dog on a spaceship? On a spaceship cruising along the Milky Way. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. I am back. How are you doing? Space Beagle. That's right. This is a Space Beagle. Hello, everybody. I am assuming that everything is working okay and that you can see me fine. Can you just perhaps confirm it, please? Hello, Outer Space. Hello, Victoria Puskas. Hello, moderators. Hello, Wilda. Thank you very much. Happy Girl, thank you very much. She's confirming all is good. I only have about an hour maximum to do this live. I don't actually have much to say. I just have had this calling that I had to be here for some reason and just remind everybody that I'm still here. I'm not just somewhere, an invisible force, someone who is making the videos, but I'm still here and I'm still learning together with you about all these different concepts and ideas. Uh, Thank you very much, Rafael. Yes, the dress is a bit spacey because today I am transmitting from my new and beautiful living room in space. That's right. I'm on a ship today. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I am not on a ship. I have not been on the ship as far as I remember consciously, even though I would love that. Maybe one day. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, let's begin with some stuff that I have prepared here. And first, what I want to say is that as you noticed, Athena's Varu is with us these days, these months, these weeks, and she's the one who is in charge now of this project of giving us information, of providing us with more knowledge and new topics. And with that, I want to stress the point that with that begins or we enter a new phase, a new stage of this whole project. It's a different person in charge. Yes, they are still there. Aneka is there, Yaski is there, but they are more in the background. You know, they deserve a little bit of rest. Athena is new, is fresh and full of energy and full of ideas, as you could see with the initiative of showing you the photos. It was all her idea, her initiative, and her work to make this happen. So now we're entering a different dynamic with her in charge, and Yaski and Annika deserve some rest. You know, they have done so much and so much work. Thank you very much to both of them and everybody involved. But the point here being that some things will be dealt with differently now with the Athena in charge. Maybe, you know, maybe some mistakes that were done in the past, maybe they will be dealt with differently, just speaking generally. So just remember that and keep that in mind, that they are not the package. The previous girls, or especially not Svaru 9, and don't ever mix that phase of the contact with what we are doing right now. They are not the package. I would even say that Athena and of course Yazi is not the package with the Taigetans themselves. They are separate people with a separate set of ideas, and Athena is not the others. She's not Svaru 9. She's not Taigetans. So things of the past, whatever happened, whatever was said in the past or done in the past, does not apply to her. She has her own perspective. The whole dynamic is different. So just keep that in mind. I mean, we actually talked to her about this point, and we agreed that we would explain this point to the people. Even though, yes, they are of course connected, and they are on a Taigetan ship, and they are friends, and many things are shared, of course. However, she is different. I have some Polish people in the chat. I see Mysza Kofana, cześć Gosia. Thank you very much. This is my next point I wanted to mention. A few days ago, I did an interview on a Polish YouTube channel and website for the first time ever. For the first time ever, I was invited by the Polish person, Alex. And I was very nervous because the Polish language is not, even though it is my mother tongue, so to speak, I do not feel like I dominate this language anymore so well, because I have been living outside for 22 years, and now I feel like English is a language where I can express myself more, and even Spanish. Can't believe how many people are speaking in Polish. uh, so I was a bit nervous. I was a bit nervous that I wasn't going to be able to express myself and find words, because, for example, star seeds. I have no idea. I had no idea how to say star seeds in Polish. It just sounded very strange to me if I translate that directly. Or ascension, all these things. JW is asking, do you speak Polish with your mother? I do, but I do not speak to her very much. We speak on Facebook, on the chat here and there, sometimes on Skype, but not much. And she's the only one. So I haven't had any contact with the Polish language. So I was nervous, but I must say that Alex, the interviewer, did a very, very, very good job editing it, so it doesn't look actually that bad. But that's because of him. That's thanks to him, because I was actually stuttering. I was starting over a lot of times. He was helping me with the words, but he edited all that, and it came out quite nice. So I want to welcome all the Polish people. Dzień dobry, wszyscy z Polski. Witam na kanale. I said, welcome all the Polish people. Welcome aboard. Yes, I can see there are some Polish people. Sebastian is mentioning that too. That's amazing. And also what I want to say is that I got an amazing response in subscribers from that interview, like from no interview before. Seriously, the spike of new people coming from that interview was just amazing. And of course, my mom could see the interview, like for the first time. She could actually see me speak Polish about these topics, because we don't speak that much about this here and there. So I was very happy that she could see it, and actually she liked it. She said, I actually like this interview and all the information. And she told me, oh my God, how much stuff you know. And this is just so difficult to understand. And I said, wow, this was so basic. Because for me, I mean, we have, like I said in that interview, over 300 videos, Spanish and English. That interview, just 1 hour, basic stuff, introduction, was so basic to me. But for her, for people, of course, who are new to this, it all sounds quite overwhelming in the beginning, for sure, and it's understandable. So that's that. Thank you very much again to all the Polish people. Dziękuję, Grzegorz, Mysia, etc. I'm looking at the chat, but not all the time. So if I miss someone or an interesting question, that's the reason. I may be able to respond some questions from the chat today, because today the topic is not so specific, okay? do want to mention, though, a few interesting comments from the past videos that I captured that I found very interesting. Greetings from Costa Rica. Thank you very much. I lived in Costa Rica, in San Jose, for 5 years. So hello back to Costa Rica, South Carolina, Canada, UK, and many other places. So okay, remember that. Athena, new stage, new perspective, new dynamic, new ideas. Let's see what else she comes up with. So welcome, Athena. And remember what happened in the past, what was said in the past. With that, I don't want to say that what was said in the past is wrong. It's not valid. It's valid, but she's coming with a fresh new perspective. And whatever happened in the past, this doesn't apply to Athena. New face, new fresh energy. So remember that. Okay. So now I want to go back for a moment to the video that I did on those 22 races supposedly forming a human DNA. Aneka gave the information about this. Thank you very much, Lou. And I found that information quite fascinating. By the way, I see other languages cropping up in the chat, and it's very amazing that there are so many people speaking other languages. Try to speak English, though, just so people can understand more or less what's happening. So let's stick to English. So maybe the questions from the chat later. Let me focus now on that video about 22 races. As Aneka explained, there's no simple single answer to that question, to that idea, or to any question or any idea. And this is something very, 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 very important. And I stress this to the newcomers as well. There is never just one simple answer or layer to any specific topic. As Athena actually recently mentioned in one of her videos, they noticed that humans on Earth always are looking for one simple explanation. It has to be that, or it has to be that. If it's that, then it cannot be that. They are not able to include a variety of different answers to any specific question or topic. They are looking for simple explanations. And actually, this was actually quite evident in one of the comments that someone left me in a YouTube video when I was talking about why the ETs do not come here for resources. And it was explained why they are here on Earth. And that someone commented, well, I thought you said before that the Earth is this. And now you say that it's for that. That's contradiction. That person demonstrated Athena's point with that comment, that people are not able to include many answers. Just because somewhere in one of our videos it was said that the ETs might and are coming to Earth for this specific reason, it doesn't negate what is going to be said in the next video, talking about why they are coming to Earth from another angle. Because everything has layers and everything has angles. So don't reject one information because somewhere in the past or in the future, we will treat the subject from another still angle. Include all of that. Try to embrace and look at different platforms because everything is complex. This whole Earth dynamic, especially, is super, super complex. And answers will always depend on a different set of parameters and on what perspective we are asking the question from. So going back to this video about 22 races supposedly forming a human being, Aneka explains that DNA, what is the DNA? The DNA is a memory in a material form. It is a memory of what composes us as a soul, as a signal of consciousness, in a material form. So if we, as a being, as consciousness, as a soul, have existed throughout so many different incarnations and have incarnated throughout so many different races, that of course that experience is going to be reflected in our DNA as some sort of a memory of those experiences. So 22 races, DNA of a 22 races detected in a human genome, that was just what was most identifiable, the most identifiable DNA imprints from our experiences as other races. But we have been more than that. And within those 22 races, there are other 22, for example, 22. Let's not stick to that specific number. Other 22 and other 22. So in fact, our DNA is composed of millions of different races because that's what we have been. And our human genome is made of all kinds of souls from all over the place. So those 22 are just most easily identifiable. And what she stresses here is that, yes, the human genome has been here and there artificially altered, always cemented with the mind control, which is the key to the artificial alteration, but it was not formed from scratch from these 22 races. So just because those 22 races DNA is identifiable in the human DNA, it doesn't mean that those 22 races have created us and we have been created from scratch from those 22 races. It's just a reflection of a memory of the soul, because that's what the DNA is, a memory in a material form. So that was quite interesting when Annika explained that. So let me look at the chat very fast. Do you have any questions, perhaps at this point, about anything? The topic of the DNA in itself is not my strength, by the way. I have certain topics that are more of my strength and others not so much. Another topic that is not my strength at all, and I cannot mention it at all, is, well, more or less I could if I had to, is that Minerva's Varus topic on, do we change and transform into the silicon crystalline bodies? That's like chemistry and periodic table of elements and all that. That was also fascinating, but these topics already kind of like surpass my understanding a little bit, although I did understand the topic itself. Anyway, for any newcomers, there is a playlist of all the videos from the beginning of our contact that began in 2017, and you can watch them all one by one, even though some things are already kind of outdated. But do watch that. I'm also making now playlists according to subjects, so there will be like 20 different playlists, and I'm putting all the different videos in different playlists according to the topic: history, genetics, federation, and all that. Okay, question from Daniel Brad. Will Athena be landing and contacting Starseed here soon? It's not what she's planning. No, it's not what she is planning for sure. However, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I mean, I never expected that they're going to share the photos. For example, we were so already used to the idea that we don't have photos and it's okay. We accepted it. We kind of even like told them, like, and it was a bit misinterpreted. Like we said that we don't really need those photos. And I think Athena misunderstood a little bit the intention. You know, oh, you don't need it all. Then, well, she said it's a joke, so I'm not going to send it. But then we had to explain that no, we just mean that we don't need it as any sort of verification, or the photos are not proof of anything anyway. I have been always stressing this, that because before people were saying, send us photos, show themselves. Show yourselves. And I kept saying, if we do that, what is that going to prove? They're people. They're just people. They look like normal people. That's not proof. So anyway, so that's what we're telling Athena, that we don't need those photos in that sense as some sort of verification. So going back to that question, will she land? I don't know, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But she's not planning that at the moment. Okay, Polish people, let's see if we can chat in English, because I feel like maybe we should speak in English. Because there are some questions there in Polish, but if you are here, I assume you speak English, so let's try to stick to the language. Unfortunately, I do not have separate lives for Polish people. Maybe I should do that. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, let's see. How are the crew doing lately? From Nicole. Well, not much new. There are some things. There have been some things happening, but it's more like on their personal level. There are always things happening on a personal level, but nothing that relates to Earth itself. So they're okay. Ameka and Yaski are taking the break for now, and that's that. But all is fine. There are so many questions, and so many questions I have no idea how to answer right now. Does the group known as Dark Fleet exist? I don't know. I don't know. I knew that word. I know that word, but I don't know. I will have to ask. No, they didn't say anything about Ukraine, actually. So we don't have any information on that front. Thank you very much. Congrats on the Gaia piece. Yes, today the new episode was published on portals and suns and toroids. By the way, the show on Gaia is called Galactic Messages. Gosia, why did you paint your hair? Because I like to paint my hair. Actually, I have been dyeing my hair for 20 years. My previous hair, as I always say, that was dyed too. It was black. It was dyed. It was not my color. My color is light brown. So I have been dyeing my hair for 20 years. Why? Because I like to. Okay, thanks for the puppy update. You're welcome. Okay. Now, the next video that I liked, and there was an interesting point in a video from Minerva. That was a spiritual chat with Minerva a few weeks ago, and she made an interesting point. Let me just read that. Okay, yes. Okay. Interesting point. Because I said Mari, because her nickname is Mari. I said, Mari, if there is no time from the ether space, from the astral source level, from where we incarnate, when some people die and move on, pass on, and they are angry, for example, at the cabal for whatever is happening. Thank you very much, Bent. It could be that they want to incarnate back in the same time to continue with the fight. They want to like return to the same point, but they will be in a different body, in a different incarnation. Is that possible? Is that what's happening? And she said, yes, that's exactly what's happening, because everything is overlapping in the now. They come back to fight in different ways. Sometimes they come back as ETs, as full ETs. And so, for example, you could be here right now. You will die in the future, for example, on Earth, but you will decide to come back, reincarnate as an ET, for example, as a Taigetan, and be here at the same time as you now. So your future self could be here now in 5D, and you, as that future self's past life, is you at the same time. So this is quite fascinating. So you could be returning as a full ET, overlapping in the moment of now. You could be coming back as another human being, incarnated, also on Earth at the same time. So you could be seeing actually your future you somewhere on the street without even knowing that it's you. This also gets reflected in the phenomenon on mirrors, a subject that I always want to go into, but we never really discussed that in detail. It's a complicated metaphysical phenomenon that, there are 3D mirrors, reflections, equivalents of the 5D people. They're not exactly the same ones. Sometimes they are matrix. They're no soul. It's just a mirror reflection, but that person is doing whatever he's doing and is not aware of their equivalent in 5D. So you might be down here as a past life, and another person next to you could be your future. And reverse. It's fascinating that, everything overlapping in the now. And this is something that here in 3D we are not aware of. So in a way, it's easier for us because everything is very linear for us. But in 5D, they are very much aware of this happening. And it's more complicated in that sense because they know that they could be talking to their past life or future self. Anyway, I think I talked about this before, but I wanted to mention it again because I find it quite fascinating. Yes. So, for example, I could be now here talking to them on a ship, but one of them could be or could have been my past life or a future life. And we are talking to each other. And that's why the recognition of the souls also comes in. You recognize a person because actually it's you. It's not even someone you met in a past life with whom you have had experiences, that too. But it could be because that person is you, was you, or will be you. Everything meshing and overlapping in the moment of now. Anyway, question, Darren, do you speak with the humans that are on the Teleka? No, never have. Right now, we are just speaking to Athena, basically. Thank you very much, Robert Gashor. Who are the Hindu gods like Krishna? We talked about this a little bit. Krishna was an Andromedan. I don't know other Hindu gods, but Krishna was an Andromedan, and Andromedans had a big influence in the East, influencing the religions and philosophies in the East. Thank you very much, Deva. She's saying I do a good job explaining difficult topics. Sometimes. Some topics I don't even touch, like that, silicon thing that Minerva explained. That was very well explained by her. I understood it, but now if I had to summarize it, it's difficult for me. Thank you very much. So that was that. That was an interesting point from chat with Minerva, a spiritual video. Do Tibetans believe in angels? Jean-Francois is asking. Well, angels, if we are talking about higher dimensional beings from beyond their realm, then of course they do. And Yaski even said once that she communicates with those beings and etc. However, also here it has to be remembered that Yaski and even us, we are multidimensional. So those beings also are us. We are a reflection of that being. We are a mirror reflection of that angel in the higher realm. So yes, they do believe in those beings. Who are Sasani? Shuban is asking. We don't know much about Sasani, but they exist and they are a race of very little extraterrestrials, very, very small, very, very short. And they are very positive, and they are also involved or they were, a few years ago, we talked about them. They were involved with the Earth and they're very innocent, very, 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 very innocent, even more than Taigetans. Taigetans also have that innocence to them, but Sasani even more. Okay. Okay, let's see if I see any questions that I can answer. Hello to Missouri. Okay, Asteria is asking, will other species ever collaborate with the team to share information? We would love to hear their perspective as well. Like, for example, members in the Alcyon Council, like the URMA. I don't know. For sure, they are observing what the Tagetans are doing. They are observed under microscope, with the microscope. Everything they do is observed by the Federation and by other races. They are kind of pioneers, not kind of, they are pioneers in this type of communication and this type of information giving and contact, interaction with the humans. So I don't know if they are ever going to collaborate in the same way. Yeah, that would be very interesting. Urmas, I don't know if they will be able to communicate in the same way because they literally have paws. So I don't see how they're able to type because, the Tegeton team uses the computers. So I don't know how that would work. But that would be definitely interesting to have their perspective. Sea monsters, Silverwings is asking, do they exist? I think yes, a lot of these things, mythical creatures do exist. I do have a video about Yeti and Bigfoot and all that I want to make. And it's just somewhere there in the long line of videos that I have to make. Yes. Talk to text, maybe. Nicole is saying, yeah, maybe. So who is the Council of Nine and how many Councils of Nine there are? Yeah, I think Alcyona Council also goes by Council of Nine, but there are also other Councils of Nine. So it gets a bit confusing and I don't know more about that. Just this, what I said. CC is asking, is this a real background with ships or is it a CGI? What do you think? It's totally real. I told you in the beginning, today I'm on the ship and I am so happy to be here. This is my new living room. Look at the view. This is just beyond spectacular. It's just amazing. It's to be here in space is just breathtaking. Okay, no one can ever tell you enough, but it feels amazing. Look at the stars moving and all these little dots. And I don't know what that green shadow behind my back is. It seems to be following me, but yeah. Anyway, of course I am not on a ship. This is a green screen. This is a green screen. Now, just a very, very, very fast comment, super fast, one sentence about Athena video about the Canadian convoy. She warned us, to be alert. There seem to be, yes, a lot of positive outcomes coming out of what's happening in Canada and in many other countries. However, she did share that information about, this possibly being organized by the CIA and all that, just because, they are very protective of the humanity and they are very protective and they are very suspicious of cabals and the dark ones because they are literally everywhere and they are. So Athena, when she shared that information is because, like I'm saying, she's protective and she just wants you to be alert and wants you to be aware of possible dangers. It doesn't mean though that there are no positive outcomes coming out of the situation in the future. We'll see. It's just we need to sit and observe and see what will happen. Okay. So that's that. What other questions do you have here? Do Tagetans read minds of Cabal people within ships? No, I don't think so. I don't think they are able to read their minds. There is like this, a little bit of a fog, and not just a little bit. There is quite a fog surrounding Earth. So it's not that easy actually to read even our minds for them, because we ask them many times, like, can you read us? Yes, many times they do read us and we read them, but it's not 100%. It's not as if it's not the same as having us in front of them. Then it's easier, but there is this fog here on Earth that makes it a bit difficult. How do the Tagetans feel about the Stephen Greer? We don't really talk about other people much, to be honest, and we don't want to talk about other people also on our channel. It's not my focus. They are always telling you through the videos to look at all the information out there. We will never tell you do not listen to someone. Um, they want you to be an independent thinker and decide for yourself. For yourself. They will never tell you not to listen to someone. So their advice always is question, research, look at everything, and then draw conclusions yourself. And especially because we are not out there. Now, our mission is not to be monopoly of truth. And by telling you our opinions or targeted opinions about this or that other person is kind of claiming a dominion or monopoly of truth over concepts. And the truth is, there is no objective truth, as Athena also expressed in one of her videos. There are a variety of levels of answers to everything. And many of these people are doing a good job. So, and there are different angles because they are all coming from different races, perspectives as well. And as you know, there are differences even between Taigetans themselves sometimes, how to run certain things. So if there are differences even among Taigetans, imagine how many differences there are among so many races. So these people here on Earth who are sort of, I don't want to say representative, who are talking or communication with those beings, they will be representing those ideologies and those concepts. So you just need to figure it out yourself. That's what I would say. Exactly, Victoria. It's never this or that. It's this. It is this and that. All perspectives being valid. I'm sorry, experience. That's the name, experience. I don't know much about liver and kidney diseases and all that. You damage my body with too much fruit sugar. Yes. Um, I do have certain information on nutrition subject piling up there, and I have to make it as well. I have too many videos to make and not enough time. So Martin Smith, yes, it's a question in Polish, but let's keep it in English, please, so people can understand. Oh, and I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question anyway. Now, someone in Burnaby, that's a name too, is asking, does Planet X have any effects on us? If by Planet X you are referring to Nibiru, then Taigetans and Svarunians explain to us that there is no Nibiru. That's just disinformation. And we have a video on that. Go to the website, svaru.org, transcripts, type in Nibiru in a word search, and that specific transcript will come up. Okay. Clint Richardson, no Nibiru, end of story. That's right. That's what they are claiming here. That's what they say. People are asking about the second human on the ship. We cannot really talk about that much or at all right now. A second human, that's it. Cubanito, Italiano. Hi. Do you think, Gosia, it's possible to be extracted? The question went up. Okay, the question went up, but from my memory, is it possible to be extracted, or do you have to wait until you die to get out of here? This is according to your own soul contract, to your own soul contract and your 5D contract, whatever you set up for yourself, basically. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, depends how you look at it, most star seeds come in here for the duration. That's the idea of coming in here. A lot of people, relatively, few people comparing to how many star seeds are on Earth. But from another angle, a lot of people do get extracted here and there. People disappear, and a lot of those disappeared people are extracted. But Isaac, thank you very much. But most star seeds will have to stay here until the end. Until the end. That's what you decided for yourself. before coming in. Basically, I don't know about Botox. That's a good question. I never asked about that. Jacqueline is asking how much damage Botox does. Question from Africa. What is the one action anyone can take to begin connecting to 5D consciousness awareness? This is a good question. What one action? Contemplate reality and contemplate different concepts regarding reality. Let them sink into you and ponder those concepts, meditate on those concepts. And apart from that, meditate on yourself, on your own consciousness, because that's where a lot of answers will come from. So contemplate metaphysical concepts, contemplate yourself, and many other answers could be given to this, but that's what I choose as an answer for myself, because that's how it worked for me. I've always been very contemplative and thinking a lot about different concepts, and one concept will taking me to another and another, and it was very explorative in my mind. And then just connecting with yourself, and things will flow out of you naturally. About the Shiva god, I do not remember. Well, I do remember. Wait a second. I think it was not such a positive being from what I remember. It was I don't remember now, but I think it was not such a positive being. I may be wrong now. Also, that positive and negative, depends on the interest of that person against other people. Wandering Ghost, how to terminate the contract? And I imagine you're asking about that contract to stay on Earth, for example, until death. I don't think that it's not possible to break the contract. So I would just say, keep sending the intention to yourself, to your higher self, and to your galactic families, and believe that you can reprogram that contract. And perhaps someone will appear and extract you at some point. However, it's not always that easy, because the extractions follow certain protocols, and many of these protocols, if not all, are followed very closely by the Federation itself. So it's not such an easy subject, but everything is possible. So I just want to go on here to the last video that I published, and that was on resources. Do the ETs come here for their resources? And I found quite a few interesting points in this video. First of all, of course, they have their own resources. They're interstellar. This is just reflecting our Earth lack mentality based on material stuff. Thank you very much, Victoria. So interstellar civilization who has full access to everything, to replicators, to all sorts of resources everywhere, not just Earth, because Earth is just one of many planets with a lot of resources. Thank you very much, Ryan. He's asking about a video on diet and nutrition. I might do that. Thank you. But it's still like a little bit further down the road. So the resources, they don't need that. That reflects Earth mentality. But, and here is an interesting point that I haven't come up with myself. That was Aneka's point. And she said, depends also on what ETs we are looking at and asking about. Because some ETs, especially those negative ones, are Earth-bound, Earth-confined, Earth-dependent. So, of course, those would be interested in that, in resources of all kinds. Our mind, our energy, but also resources for exploitation. But the fact that they are dependent on us and on Earth for resources means that these beings are Earth confined. They are part of the Earth dynamic. This means they are not fully interstellar, which means they are not full ETs. So them depending on our resources does not reflect in any way on the full interstellar ETs who are outside and don't depend on Earth for anything like that. So there are different levels to look through here. And as she explains, we confuse, or it's easy to confuse, the interests of cabal corporations and even the ETs who work on that level with the interests of full ETs. Like I'm saying, the cabal level corporations and the ETs who cooperate with them, they will be interested in our resources of all kinds. But the full ETs, their interest lies in matters of spirituality and metaphysics and what they can gain spiritually interacting with this existential reality of the earth. Because they are themselves down here, their relatives, their friends, themselves in past lives, themselves in other timelines, in the future timelines, their variables, their variants, their mirrors. It's all mixed Earth experience and the ET experience. So those full ETs will be interested in Earth for that, for the experience that the Earth gives them and their other variants. So this is very, very, very interesting point and very important point. They are here, those full extraterrestrials, to learn to control reality. Also, interesting, intriguing point, control reality. Because apparently, as Annika explains, here it's like a practice ground where you can practice controlling reality, and there it's going to be easier for you to create something better for yourself. And another very interesting point that Athena made in the same video was that the Earth, this is, I find it fascinating, this point, is not only for humans to incarnate, because we're always asking, like, the Earth is for humans, for the extraterrestrials to incarnate as humans. No, the Earth is not only for them to incarnate as humans, but to use the Earth, use is a negative word, to take to experience the Earth in other ways as themselves, as interacting with the Earth through different roles they play. They act out. They, yeah. So there are different ways to experience the human experience, not being a human. And that's why they're interested in Earth as well. As she explained, step downs, moving into Earth, walking Earth. Many times, there's so many ETs on Earth right now. You would not imagine. You would not believe. They told us it's swarming with the ETs. Not only, like I'm saying, ETs incarnating as humans. That's what I always imagine. We are just star seeds, and that's that. That's what the Earth is for, to incarnate as star seeds. No, they are here in their full, to have this experience. Like Athena said, like some lord in the 19th century going to India to experience life in India and living there with the people, with the local people. That's what they are here for as well. They are fascinated, some of them, others not so much, fascinated with this place. So there, and apart from ETs incarnating as starseeds and full ETs, there's a whole range in between of variables. So dynamic here is very complex. You can have, for example, a full ET who steps down but gets involved with the Earth matrix, Earth dynamic, that he may actually sort of lose the memory. Sometimes the memory is self-imposed. So he used to be a full ET. He came down literally with the ship, but then he mingles and blends in with the humans, and he incorporates and fuses with the human life, adopting a human family. Metaphysically, somehow they mesh, and he becomes another thread within the fabric of the Earth matrix. Having been full ET before, that happens. So the varieties here, the variables of the Earth experience are just numerous. And that's why they are interested in Earth, not for its resources. So that's very interesting as well, I think. I always make a joke about Matthias. I always tell him that for sure you are an ET, but not like a star seed. Like you came from the ship. You just imposed on yourself, not remembering or something, to be on my level, sort of in my experience. But I always, because when we met, he had certain qualities and traits and the things he used to say that it was like, this person is not from here. So I always make a joke that, hey, you are an AT. Like you came here, but you just forgot for some reason. I don't know. That's my impression. I'm still kind of not sure on this front here. He's definitely very unique. Thank you very much, Karuster. What do they see coming this year? I feel like the Dark are not done with their control plans. I can feel something else is coming. War, more illness, climate issues. Well, of course, more illnesses, because that's gonna come from papayas and all that. But let's not talk about that. I don't know what's coming, and they don't know. They haven't shared anything. We haven't talked to Yaski for a while, actually. So we don't know what visions she's having. However, her visions are always multi-layered. She sees various timelines at the same time as a mass. So it's hard to make predictions, and she doesn't like to make predictions because that's not how timelines work. There's too many timelines meshing together. So we don't know, but for sure, illnesses, that for sure. But apart from that, I don't know. So I do have to go soon because I only have like 1 hour for this live. We started, yeah, it's going to be like 7 more minutes and 1 hour. I do have one more thing to mention though, and that's about the next video. The next video is going to be actually a story. Well, yeah, well, a conversation that Robert had with Aneka about a certain incident that happened to them and near them in space, in the vicinity where they are. And this happened back in December, and it was basically an attack from Earth, cabal-based attack. It was aimed at the Centauri ship, Alfratan, Centauri ship. Nothing happened. They are okay. However, they were in the vicinity of that ship, so they felt the repercussions. They felt the effects of that attack. And what happened was that as a result, they had to actually move up in the orbit for safety reasons. That was in December. Since that time, they changed their orbit height, but for the security reasons, they couldn't tell us where exactly. But anyway, Aneka will explain that incident, what happened exactly with this attack, and then the conversation between Robert and Aneka went into weapons and all that, and yeah, from what I remember, weapons and all sorts of geeky stuff in that sense. Well, not geeky for some, for me geeky because I don't know much about that, and it seems like a complicated subject. Thank you very much, Bożena. How, yes, bardzo przepraszam po polsku. Może kiedyś zrobię jakiś live po polsku. Maybe one day I'll make some live in Polish for a few people, but who knows, maybe not so few. Anyway, so this conversation with Aneka and Robert will be very interesting for people who are interested in attacks, in weapons, in military stuff. It's going to be like military oriented and quite interesting, I would say. So that's going to be next video. And poor Claudia, by the way, Claudia is the one who records the voice for Aneka, because that video is quite long and the conversation is quite complex, and the words, the military names and all that. And she has to record that in 2 languages. So if you're listening, thank you very much, Claudia, for your efforts. That's going to be the next video or next video. Thank you very much, everybody, for your positive comments. Funny that the people are saying in Polish they don't speak English, but they are in the chat and they are trying to understand. Perhaps they understand something. Maybe you understand Spanish. Now in an hour I'll make the same live in Spanish. Thank you very much, Ocean Odell, as well. Now, okay. I see some Polish people there asking for live in Polish. That'll be quite interesting. I don't know what to speak about in Polish because, yeah, I don't know, because I don't know if I would have to talk about basic stuff or specific topic. Anyway, I'll think about it. Now, other new videos that I have. So that incident, Centauri attack, that's going to be very interesting. And also in the making is a video about holographic society. By the way, we are changing the name of that holographic society. It's going to be quite a long video. I think it's going to be divided into 2 parts. Holographic, very interesting points mentioned. I also want to share a short video about different anecdotes, certain things that happen on a ship here and there, about Chernobyl, what happened in Chernobyl. Also, I want to develop the topic on artificial intelligence as well. I already have some information, but I want to deepen that. Also, Alanim on exopolitical stuff. I still had the video on reverse world. Remember, some time ago, I told you that Yaski was sharing the information about the reverse world. A lot of other things, and just piling up all the time. Let me just see here from the newer stuff what I have. Yeah, cabal symbology. Athena recently also shared some information on cabal and symbols and all that. Interesting. It's going to be interesting. Something on Red Bull. Red Bull as a symbol. What does it mean, actually? Yes. And of course, we have to continue with the solar system as well. We have some other planets to cover. Uranium, Pluto? Yeah, Pluto. Uranium, and of course, Saturn. I think that's just that. Hey, okay, let me see the questions here. What about the bird-like beings? Yes, they do exist, the avian beings. They exist. There's just so much out there. Bring back the puppy before you go. I might do that. Okay, I might go. Someone said something in Russian. Доброе jutro. Until tomorrow, I think it means nutrition for humans. All I will say that you should eat what you feel you need. This needs to be depend the subject, but yes, it's a bit contradictory from the beginning of our contact when we were talking about the vegetarian diet, etc. However, new information has been in the picture. I haven't shared that yet, but basically you should eat what you need, what you feel you need, because it's the subject actually is not that simple as eat this or that. It's not as simple. And 3D, let's call them 3D people, are different than 5D people. Their bodies are different. Yes. What about marijuana? This was also mentioned, and they never advise on any psychedelic, even though marijuana is not really psychedelic. But let's talk about psychedelics in general. They don't advise using that because then you are entering certain realms without preparation, without control, without entering there on your own, protected, etc. Because that realm can be quite messy and quite confusing and even dangerous. So you have to take precautions. So it's always better to use your own mind to reach certain realms. Someone's asking, can you decide when you will wake up from your pod? Yeah, I could tell them to wake me up. Now, let me tell you interesting, curious facts. Here and there, I'm revealing some personal, interesting facts. Actually, I had a conversation about this some time ago with them about, hey, waking up from the pod and what happens if I want to insist on being woken up. Apparently, it already happened. Now, I don't understand this very well, but because, as I said, the reality is very complex. Apparently, for I don't know exactly what reason, it already happened. I was woken up and I was reset and I was put back. And well, I put myself back. I don't have any memory of that. I don't know. However, apparently things like that happen. You are just pulled back into the experience and reset in some way. So, hey, if you have any strange memories that are leaking through here and there, like I always say, the reality is much more complex than any science fiction you have ever seen. So those things that are leaking through, who knows where they are coming from? They could be coming from some real experience you have had. So yeah, so apparently I was woken up because something was not going quite right, and I think it was to do with this project, and we reset it. I don't know, something like that. Thank you very much. I'm gonna have to go because I need some time to change my chip into Spanish, and I will do this in Spanish. Someone in Burnaby is asking, have you done a video on blood types? We did talk about Rh negative, but I talked about it personally, not in a video, but with my own words. And there's no transcript for that, so you can't even find that on the website. You just have to go through earlier videos and look at the titles. Okay. Let me bring Bongo then, if you want to see her. 1 second, please. She was sleeping. Well, trying to sleep. Oh, you're not comfortable. Bongo. This is Bongo. Okay. Well, I have to put her down. Good. Look, Bongi. Look at the camera. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye, Bongo. She will be 4 months soon. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for this live. It wasn't anything specific, but I just felt I needed to connect with you. I felt like it was needed for some reason. What does bongo mean? Nothing. Bongo. Bongo bongo. Bongy bong. We call her bongy. Bongy bong. Thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you in the next video, of course. Enjoy your days and your evening, everybody. Bye-bye.